Take two of this video because I just recorded for a half hour and I didn't turn my mic on because I'm a genius. Klei Entertainment has given us a little bit of teases here and there about what is coming to Don't Starve Together. And as of yesterday, they've done some more teasing. Because this roadmap that they provided us, yes, gives us some insight for sure. But it is still a lot of speculation to go around. And I think it's time that we take a deep dive and do some of that ourselves. So, less than 21 hours ago, this was posted to the forums. Don't Starve Together Roadmap 2019. So, let's read her. Hello everyone, it's been a while since I've made a post here. I'd like to share with you our plans for 2019, which are extensive. First, I'd like to recap what happened in 2017 and 2018, and you know, I would too. In 2017, we launched The Forge, and followed it up in 2018 with The Gorge. The idea was that we could offer a new way of playing Don't Starve Together in a limited time format. We were a bit burned out in creating DST core content, and this format allowed us to try something a bit different. So we made these crazy game modes and provided them to the community for free. Every time we launched these events, tons of players came to play, and in every instance we hit our highest ever DST concurrency. We're super thrilled that so many people came to play their weird game events. Couple things about that. Your limited time events were pretty good, but I will say The Gorge is probably best unremembered. The Gorge just wasn't good. Was not good. The Forge, on the other hand, wonderful. And that's exactly why you brought it back again. When The Gorge comes back, it's going to need some changes. But about the hitting the highest DSC concurrency thing, good and all, but you cannot deny that as soon as those things kind of ran their course, people left. So, yeah, I think they're starting to see that, we need beefy content to bring people back. And besides that, Klei had some drawbacks on their end anyway. They took way longer to make than they expected, so they weren't able to make as much content as they wanted, and it left little time to do things like bug fixes and quality of life updates for the base game. Yes, indeed it did, and the base game needed them and still needs them. Because we run the servers for these events, we also incurred the cost of these servers. Very good point. Those of you who have been here a while know that Don't Starve is not architected to be a multiplayer game, certainly. So running them on servers was extremely inefficient. In short, even though we loved that everyone came to play, the item sales were only barely covering the cost of these servers. Yes, indeed. We found it exceedingly difficult for us to run these events on console, and as such, underserved our console players. Which kind of sucks. It's been a valuable experience in which the game is better for it. However, I feel that it's time to turn our attention back to the core Don't Starve Together experience, surviving together. It's certainly a big point, man. It's certainly a big point, and it's a point that many people don't understand. The business of game development. We might get this content, and it's lovely, but we don't know what happened behind the scenes to get us to the point that we had the content. And it showed with The Gorge. It certainly did. It was just bare bones. They got it out how they got it out, man. They had so many more plans for it. You can tell they had so many more plans for it, but they couldn't do it because they couldn't cover the development cost. And we are going to come back to that later on. However, here's what they do have planned for 2019. Brand new content. The team is now working on brand new content for Don't Starve Together. Survivors will be able to travel to new lands with new biomes, creatures, and more. The first of so will come in mid-April, and we will be continually adding to the content every couple months afterwards. As we said before, we think it's important that everyone can play together, and we don't segregate our audience. So all this content will be available for free to everyone. First off, absolutely. If you made this a paid DLC, I think people would have probably lynched you, Klei. But what do they mean by new lands, new biomes, and creatures and more? Now, sounds exciting. What does it mean? Does it mean server hopping? Or does it mean a completely just new server, very much like how the caves work? Don't know. If I had to guess, it's likely that one, because I'm not sure if they have the necessary technology to do the other. That being said, I'm still excited, but remember the months leading up to Hamlet, everyone speculating what it was going to be, so on and so forth, how big it was going to be, I thought it would be bigger than it was. So, on the one hand, I look forward to this. On the other hand, I am taming my hype a little bit. But here's something that most people are probably not going to be staying quiet about. Character refreshes. And why do I say that? It's because they've been talking about it for a long time. The team also felt it was high time we gave our core cast some love. Yes, they have heard us, everyone. Over the course of the next year, we will be bestowing every character with revamped abilities and give a glimpse into their backstory, which is kind of interesting because we already have a pretty good glimpse of everyone's backstory. Our goals here are to make each character unique, interesting, and valuable in their own right, and we expect this to be game-changing in many ways. Starting in March with Winona, we'll be releasing a character refresh once a month. These character refreshes will again be free to all players, thank goodness. And we will be selling new skins for these characters on the month they were refreshed. Could be interesting, depends on how much they are though, Klei. In addition, the Triumphant, Guest of Honor, and Survivor skin packs will be available to purchase for the character on that date. But all owners of these skins prior will be upgraded to an heirloom rarity with a higher unraveling value. Some might be saying yes, some might be saying, I would say I'm in the middle of those. Do characters need revamps? Absolutely. Do all characters need revamps? No. Tiers of characters in Don't Starve Together exist for a reason. There's the gods, there's the I'll play them, they're kind of just default, and the holy crap, these are terrible. That's kind of how it goes. These ones, the holy crap, they're terrible, absolutely, revamp. These ones can probably just do with a little tweak here and there. And the gods, well, they're gods for a reason. Do we take things away from them only to bring them down to the level of everybody? Is that what we're trying to do, Klei? Are we trying to just make everybody the same but different at the same time? I mean, you did say you want to make them unique, interesting, and valuable. They kind of already are valuable, interesting, and unique. I mean, how far are we going with these character refreshes? Soon enough, on top of character refreshes, we will have new characters entering the fray. A fresh batch of 4 characters have been unwittingly ensnared and brought into the world. These new survivors will be released into the wild starting mid-March, so very, very soon, and a new one will be released every 2 months. Meaning they have these guys already nailed down. We are still deciding the final price of these characters, but we currently think they will be $6.99 US each. Let's just round to the 7, which includes a full character skin set. You'll also be able to weave the characters with spools, but I'm guessing the spool amount is going to be astronomical. Since we do not want to charge players for the new world content, these new characters will be our main way to fund development for this new content. Back to the business side of things very briefly. With new character refreshes every month, on top of new content every couple months, on top of getting new characters out every now and then later on you'll hear that they're going to have quality of life, Twitch drops, so on and so forth. That's 5 or 6 things that they have to deal with. And they also said that they hired new staff for the console stuff. We'll read that later. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money and funding going into this game. Now, they said earlier that they just didn't have enough, be it time, be it money, to complete the things they wanted to complete. But now they're saying that they want to do all these things and they want to fund it with a $7 character. You're releasing 4 characters. If every character is bought, that's only $28. Now, yeah, $28 can go a long way. But is every single one of you out there going to buy one of these characters for $7? Because what if the character sucks? Like when they come out, I'm going to buy them. Why? Because then I'll be able to make a video on them and say, hey, this character can do this, that, the other. Cool. But what if we find that this is another unfortunate occurrence of a character not being worth it? And then people don't start buying your stuff. So now you just said you want these characters to fund your development. But what if they're not funding anything? And that's just the money side of things. On a practical level, so we're getting not only potential full character refreshes, we're going to be getting new characters as well. That's a lot on the plate, dude. That is a lot on the plate. And who knows if any of it is going to work. Because if this is your development cycle, you want to get these things out almost monthly. Problem occurs when you release something, it's completely broken, doesn't make any sense, doesn't work, is bad. The community talks up about it. They want change. So you go to change, and then that pushes the next content a little further away. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you try to stick to it. But my guess is that it pushes the next one a little further away. And then what if it happens again? Then it pushes it further away. And then it pushes it further away. We gotta be very, very careful here, Klei. This can go south very quickly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sitting here excited about the prospect of character refreshes and 4 new complete characters and wonderful new content. I mean, that's great. That's fantastic as a player and then as a content creator, being able to use this new stuff to show you guys. I mean, that's awesome. I just know that what we've gone through before is definitely still a possibility now. And just with their roadmap and their ideas here, plans don't always work. You have to adapt. And you got to be ready to adapt here, Klei. You're doing a lot right after another. So be very, very cautious and do it right. But speaking of doing right, hopefully console players will get what they deserve. We are working hard on keeping the console versions of the game up to date. Specifically, we are investing in technology to allow us to more quickly update the game without going through lengthy certification on every small change. We've also added more staff, there it is, to work exclusively on updating the console versions. We're happy to say that the next update for the Year of the Pig King will launch within 2 days of the PC version. It's alright to be optimistic, but I would tame yourself on this, console players. Technology to get them to update things faster, I don't know what they're talking about, because every developer, when they're going through a console, has to go through Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. They have to be, hey, we're doing this. Let us do it, and then they have to certify it. That's what they mean by certifying. I don't know what technology would help them do that, because it still has to be certified by someone at one of those companies. But whatever. I'm glad that you guys are going to get these limited time events much faster than you are, because it seems like every time it happens, like when we have the Gorge, you guys got it like a month after it was done for a month, it seemed, on PC. So thankfully you can start getting that. But a little personal side of things, people have been asking, especially with the most recent video out, the mod video. Console players are saying and asking, can I get mods on consoles? Man, I'm sad I can't get mods on consoles. I don't think you guys are ever going to get mods on consoles. I don't like to say never, but the only company that has mods on consoles right now is Bethesda. And Bethesda is way bigger than Klei. So, I'm sorry, I don't think you guys will see mods anytime soon. However, last but not least, quality of life, Twitch drops, etc. We'll also be continually updating the game with bug fixes, quality of life updates, and new skins for skin drops, and most things we're not ready to announce quite yet. Speaking of which, the Year of the Pig King update is going live on Thursday, tomorrow. Long live the fat man himself. So there we go. That, again, it's a lot of teasing, but it's a lot of teasing for a lot of stuff. And I'm happy for Klei that they're able to do this. I'm happy that people are going to get content for the game that they love. I cannot sit here, though, and say that I am not pessimistically optimistic about this, because I see a lot of potential drawbacks, obstacles, barricades with this. So, at the end of the day, I will once again reiterate, I am happy for Klei, I am happy for Don't Starve, I am happy for the future. I am just a little concerned about the timetable. I am. Because if something goes wrong, it pushes everything back. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but it's an annoying thing, right? It's just an annoying thing. Like, if a character comes out and it's just dog awful again, people are going to be upset, and I don't want people to be upset at Klei. Klei's a great developer. But it's just, from the business side, it's going to cost a lot of money for a game that is kind of old at this point. And we haven't even heard anything about Griftlands yet. So what's happening with Griftlands? And what other games is Klei working on at this moment? You know, it's just a lot on the table money-wise. It's also a lot on the table content-wise. You know, you're not only paying all these people to work on it, these people need to get it done. It sounds like most of the work is already finished, but I don't know. What happens when your finished work ends up not being finished? You know, that's just what I keep coming back to. Is if you are releasing these things month after month after month, it's wonderful for the player base if it works. If it doesn't work, it's going to have the exact opposite effect that you want it to have. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I will sit here and be who I am and be like a little cautious. I'm not going to tell you guys to extinguish your hype. Of course not. You be hyped about what you want to be hyped about. I'm never going to stop you from doing that. I will say it might be in your best interest to wait. And that's exactly what I'm going to do too. Wait until the days draw nearer and they give us a little bit more detail into what's happening instead of just a tease. Because this is what happens when you give a tease, Klei. You have people like us who just start speculating and then start building the narratives on top of each other, and potentially they're narratives that don't need to be there at all. So that's the point. But as for now, our narrative, our little speculation, at least in video form, is done. If you want to talk about any of these things, do it in the Discord, join it if you're not there, or just do it in the comments section. Talk about what maybe some of the character abilities might be. Talk about maybe if this is going to be world hopping or if it's just going to be a server hop with the new content and new worlds and stuff. Or, you know, share your own opinions. Maybe you don't like where this is going. I doubt it, because even though I'm being, you know, cautious about it, I still like where it's going, but maybe you don't. Let us know. Let us know. As for now, I am done. I'll see you guys in the next one, which is likely going to be a traditional guide coming tomorrow, maybe late. We have spent a long time on the surface. It's time to go down in the deep, dark caves and do some series of guides down there. So I'll see you in the first one tomorrow. Or, you know, maybe early morning on Friday. We'll see. I'm done, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.